Do not attempt to adjust your set. This is a streaming freedom video bulletin. It cannot be stopped, and it is the only free voice left on the net. Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Skyrim mod video on the PS4, I briefly wanted to cover something that you might have been hearing about go around in the community, as well as possibly even noticed yourself after the Creations update, and that is the apparent removal or expansion of the mod limit. Used to, on PlayStation, there was a limit of 100 mods in the mod loader, and on Xbox 150. However, that has been changed with the Creations update. Now, before you get any further into this video, I want to make it perfectly clear that the information in this video, what I am giving, is not intended to scare you away from adding additional mods into your loader, surpassing your original limit. However, it is also not meant to encourage you to add additional mods into your loader, surpassing your system's original limit. What you choose to do in your game is ultimately up to you, but you need to be aware that as far as myself and Cyan49, who is one of Skyrim's mod authors, can find, Bethesda is not saying anything about this change. They are not addressing it or responding to it. Cyan49 believes because of that it could be a bug, and while I disagree with that and myself personally believe that it is a change, either way we do not know enough about it in order to be able to safely say if it's a good idea to exceed the limit or not. Even today, before making this video, I went and checked Bethesda's customer support, and I'm finding conflicting things on that to do with PlayStation, where one article states that PlayStation has 1 GB of space for mods, and another article claims that it has 5 GB worth of space for mods. And then I also found an article on Xbox saying 5 GB. And while one would believe perhaps the 5 GB one then is to reflect the Creations update change, I don't believe that to be the case, because in the article it stated about adding or removing mods to access mods from the mods section of the main menu. The problem with that being there is no mods section anymore. It's now called Creations. And knowing that Bethesda does not update information very often then is what leads me to wonder if what I found is current or not. And that is ultimately the reason why that Cyan49 believes that this feature could be a bug and not actually a feature. And there's definitely, reason to consider that, because the Creations menu itself is extremely buggy right now. So it's not far-fetched to believe that this could be a mistake, that it's allowing you to exceed the limit. And being as he knows as much about Skyrim as he does, that is definitely something to consider. Now, personally, myself, I don't believe it's a bug. I do think that it is something that they purposely changed while they had the mod page and CC pages offline for as many days as they did. However, they didn't bother to say anything about this, and in a message that I asked Cyan about this, he even said that Bethesda isn't saying anything about this change or addressing it, and that he finds that odd that they wouldn't mention it. In fact, if I recall correctly, I think his exact words was that it was creepy that they hadn't commented on it, which I agree, because he said they haven't said or responded to it, and they haven't commented on it. Now, if that is a new feature with this update, you would think that would be one of the first things they would really want to get out there and let people know what the new limit is. There has to be a limit. I highly doubt you can simply have as many as you want. I know that he stated that he wouldn't recommend going over 255 as 255 is the hard cap on PC. So apparently there is even a limit on PC, and I was always under the assumption they could have as much as they want. But in any case, whatever that is, it brings up two good questions and two things to think about if you are going to exceed your console's original mod cap. Again, 100 on PlayStation, 150 on Xbox. So, if this is indeed a bug and it's not intended, then what happens if you have a bunch of mods that exceed the limit of your console in your loader, and Bethesda then tries to patch it? Whether they tell us or not, and obviously by now it should be quite obvious, Bethesda hardly ever tells us anything, so if they just release a patch here down the line, then what could that possibly do to your mod loader, to your save files, you know, to your current playthrough of Skyrim? Now likewise, if it isn't a bug and it is indeed a new feature that was introduced with this update, then it's mainly for PlayStation users that I have to wonder. Remember earlier I said that one of the articles said about 1 gigabyte of allotted space on PlayStation for mods. Now originally, back when 0KB was an issue, the reason that could occur was because mods, CC content, and save files all shared the same allotted space, which left only 1 gigabyte of space left, and once you reached that cap and exceeded it, then you would get hit with 0KB. Now they could have changed that to where that's no longer the case in this update, I haven't a clue. But if not, and it's been extended to whatever it is, then I have to wonder, could it possibly cause 0KB to become an issue again? Because in one of the later patches they did. Now people say it's fixed. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not fixed. I've had it since, but I got it from testing a mod, and I was able to fix it easily enough. But that don't mean anything. But it is still around. It's not completely gone, but it's much harder to get it. But what if these changes now make it to where, say, you are somebody that you have a bunch of mods exceeding the PlayStation's original 100 limit. Let's say you have all of, or most all of, the CC content. And then even on top of that, let's say that you have several characters, all with a ton of their own save files. Then I have to wonder, could you be susceptible to getting hit with 0KB again? Myself personally, I'm on my same character. This is my original character. I've never deleted him. I've only played through Skyrim once. So this is the same character. But I only have his original prisoner save, one manual save that I update on occasion that I call my safe save that I can revert to if I have trouble with mods, that I update only when I know it's safe to do so, and 3 auto saves that update as I go like in and out of buildings or anything. That's not that many, but I know there are a lot of players that have multiple characters and multiple save files on those characters. So while somebody like me maybe wouldn't experience or be close to hitting 0KB, one of you could possibly be. So these are things to consider if you are going to exceed your limit or not. If you've seen stuff where people have been saying that, hey, yeah, it's off there, go crazy, add as many as you want. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying go crazy, don't go crazy, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't go ahead and add more, but I'm also not saying that you should. We do not know at this time if this is a bug, if this is an intended feature. If it is an intended feature, Bethesda needs to confirm that. They then need to tell us what is a safe amount of mods to have. Does having all the CC, let's say if you have all the CC, does that factor into then you should not exceed this amount of mods, versus if you don't have all the CC, then you can have around this amount of mods, or what? And I mean, it is quite possible that the thing I mentioned earlier about the one article I found that said there was 5 gigabytes worth of allotted space for PlayStation, that could represent, because in the creations menu in the loader you will notice that it tells you how many megabytes you have. There's a bar there that as you add continues to add to it. So that could be that. But the thing is, Bethesda isn't telling us anything. They need to tell us the stuff that we know. Hell, the that little blue check mark that you might be seeing on the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch, they're not telling us what that means. That looks like that might mean it's a verified creator. I don't know that for 100% that that's what it means, but I believe that that is meaning that it's a verified creation or a verified creator. But again, we don't know, because Bethesda puts this stuff into the game but then doesn't bother to let us know what it means. They need to be more clear on the information that they give. So, in closing, I just wanted to say that, again, the purposes of this video is not to encourage you or discourage you from adding additional mods to the loader. I simply am trying to give some additional things for you to think about, the information that we currently know, so that ultimately you can make the best decision for you in your playthrough of Skyrim. I'd like to take the time right now to thank Cyan49 again. I know I've thanked you quite a lot. You're probably getting tired of hearing me thank you, but I really do appreciate all that you've done, all your help for the community. I appreciate the time that you take in making the mods for us that you make as well, and all of the mod authors that we have. But in any case, I really do appreciate your time in helping me to get out information to the community. It's very much appreciated, so thank you. Also, I appreciate your time, the viewer, for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope that it could be helpful to you and make your playthrough more enjoyable. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Take care. This has been a Streaming Freedom Video Bulletin. Peace out.